The cursor blinks on the empty page, or the number's already dialed, and your thumb just hovers over the call. The thing you've wanted for months is right there in front of you and you cannot move. Nobody is stopping you. There's no one else in the room. And still, you don't begin. I want to show you why, because the real reason isn't laziness, and it isn't weakness. It's something almost nobody names. First, if you're living this, hear the thing you actually need to hear. You're not lazy, and you're not broken. What's happening is far more understandable than that. Here's what the waiting actually feels like from the inside. It's like standing at the start of a road at night. The whole path is dark, you can't see where it leads, or what's in the way, and you have no guarantee it goes anywhere good at all. So you stand there, you don't step. You wait for the sun to come up, for the road to light all the way to the end, so you can finally see it's safe before you move. You're not refusing to walk, you're waiting for a certainty the road is never going to give you. And the mind dresses this up to look responsible. It tells you you're waiting for the right moment, when you've prepared enough, when the conditions are right, when you finally feel ready. It's like refusing to leave the driveway until you're sure every traffic light on the way will be green so you never have to stop, never hit anything red. But you already know that drive doesn't exist. There has never been a journey where every light was green. The right moment is a road with no red lights, and while you wait for it, the only thing that moves is your life. That's not preparation, that's standing still with a good excuse. So why wait for a guarantee we know won't come? Look closely at almost anything you do, and you'll find a result hiding underneath it. You do the thing for the outcome, the praise, the money, the proof, the not looking foolish. First the result, then the action. We're trained into it from the very beginning. So when the result isn't guaranteed, when the road could go either way, the engine stalls. No promised reward, no action. A psychologist, Dan Ariely, caught this in an experiment. People played a game for money, opening doors for cash, but any door they ignored too long began to shrink and finally vanished. So they ran themselves ragged, keeping every door open, and made far less than the people who just picked one and stayed. That's us. We won't commit to the one road, because committing means the other doors close. So we keep them all open and watch them shrink anyway. That's not keeping your options open, that's losing all of them, slowly. Now, the oldest version of this problem isn't a self-help book, it's a battlefield. One of the most revered texts ever written opens not with a battle, but with a man who cannot start. A warrior, the greatest of his age, stands in his chariot at the edge of the field. He looks ahead, imagines how it will go, all the loss and the cost, and his body simply gives out. His limbs go weak, his mouth dries, the great bow slips from his hand, and he sinks down and says, "I will not fight." Sit with that. The most capable man on the field, paralyzed at the very moment of beginning, undone not by the enemy, but by the future he's imagining. And the teaching that answers him comes down to one question. How do you act when you can't be sure how it ends? The answer isn't be brave or want it more. It's stranger than that. You have a right to the action, never to the fruit of it. Do the thing for its own sake. Pour yourself into the act and loosen your grip on how it turns out, because the outcome was never the part you controlled. Read that again, because it quietly takes the whole problem apart. The reason you couldn't start was that you were demanding a guaranteed result before you'd move. And the result was never yours. It belongs to 1,000 things outside you. Luck, timing, other people, the world. The only thing that was ever yours is the starting. So you've been waiting at the dark road for the one thing it can never hand you. Stop asking for it, and your foot is free to move. And you can almost feel the shift in the body, the breath dropping back into your chest, your shoulders coming down, the thing you were gripping finally loosening, The road hasn't changed, but the body braced against it has. This was never a courage problem, it was a grip problem. You were holding the one thing that was never yours to hold. And here's what gives me chills. He wasn't the only one who found this. Centuries later, a world away, the Stoics landed in the same place. Seneca pictured a ship's captain in a storm. As a passenger, the storm can harm him, but as a captain, in the skilled exercise of his craft, he's untouched, because his job was never to control the sea, only to sail well, whatever the sea did. And a more recent teacher, Nisargadatta, put it bluntly: action delayed is action abandoned. Waiting to feel ready doesn't prepare you, it quietly prevents the act. Different centuries, different languages, no shared room, all pointing at the same door. So what changes the moment you stop bargaining for a guaranteed result? Everything quietly flips from the outside to the inside. Until now, the reason to act was out there. The result, the approval, what people would think. When that looked uncertain, the reason evaporated, and you stalled. But there's another place to act from. Not for what you'll get because something in you wants it done, because you want to find out. Act from there, and the guarantee stops mattering. You're not doing it to win. You're doing it because it's yours to do. That's not selfish, that's the only place real action has ever come from. And that's where the dark road finally makes sense, because you were never asked to light the whole path. Your headlights reach maybe 10 meters. That's all you ever get, and people cross whole countries that way, in the dark, on nothing but 10 meters of light at a time. You don't need to see the end, only the next step, and the moment you take it, the next 10 meters appear. The road reveals itself to the moving car, never to the parked one. And let me be honest about what's really at stake, because it's bigger than a missed project. Yes, if you start, you might get it wrong. That's real, but weigh it properly. The cost of going wrong is almost always smaller than you fear you'd survive it. Learn from it, forget most of it within a year. Set that against the other cost. Never starting at all. Standing at the dark road your whole life, and never finding out where it went or what you were actually made of. Because that's the real loss under the fear. Refuse to begin, and you're not just losing a project, you're refusing to trust yourself, deciding in advance that you're not enough for whatever the road holds. And a life spent never trusting yourself is a kind of slow massacre of the self. Quiet, undramatic, just a person who never got to meet who they could have been. So here's the one thing to try: small, on purpose. Don't wait to feel ready. The readiness only ever arrives after you move, never before. Do two things instead. First, find the smallest possible unit of starting the one piece that's entirely yours, that no uncertainty about the result can touch. Not write the book, write one bad page, not change your life, send one message, make one call, open the door, walk 10 meters. Second, as you do it, deliberately let the result go. Say it plainly: I'll make my effort, fully, and leave the rest to what I don't control. That isn't giving up. It's the thing that finally frees you to begin, because you've stopped asking the first step to guarantee the last one. You'll stand at the dark road again. Maybe tomorrow. The mind will offer the same old deal: wait just a little longer, until you can see the whole way. But the road doesn't work like that. It never lights up for the one standing still. It shows the next 10 meters, and only to the one already moving. So the thing you keep not starting, don't finish it. Don't be sure of it. Just take the first 10 meters. The rest of the road is waiting to show you the moment you move.